I'm not shocked to be here. I'm not dismayed. I'm not overwhelmed by this spectacle, this press conference. I felt like I had what it took to take on the best in the world. But just being afforded the opportunity was something that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. There's just no way, and I think it's safe to say that there was no way that I would have been able to fight one great fighter after the next outside of this tournament. So being in this tournament and once again get the opportunity to showcase and also just showcase and prove to myself what I had. It's just something that wouldn't have happened outside of this tournament.
You expect that a lot of people will follow you over to Atlantic City, and will that help you in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, in my past fights, travelling, it's been difficult for travelling fans for one reason or another. I mean, the volcanic ash cloud when I went over to where was it? I forgot where it was. Was that in Finland? Yeah, I was in Finland. It should have been somewhere else. That's why I'm confused. But they've always been hampered, and there was a last-minute change when we ended up in Atlantic City, which was fabulous in the end. But it was all very short notice. So, and it's not been put on a plate, if you like, for the fans to be able to just buy a package deal, flight, accommodation, and ticket. It's not been made easy for the working man fan, which is what 95% of the fans are. They're working class. They've not got much money spare for big events like this that they want to be involved with. Eddie Hearn now from Matchroom has made that possible. So we've had a great response from the fans and advanced ticket sales for travelling fans. So I'm expecting a big turnout on the 29th of October, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Ricky Hatton brought 30, 40, whatever it was to Las Vegas when he fought, but that was pretty much a phenomenon. Ricky Hatton in England, he had Man City Football Club behind him from day one. I think one of his relatives used to play for the club, and everybody was on the bandwagon. So that was pretty much I don't think that will happen for another 100 years. I don't think it happened 100 years before that. But I'll have my fair share of supporters, and I think this will be the biggest amount of travelling fans I've ever had in my career. So I'm really looking forward to the support that I'm going to be getting.
Francisco Guzman, Boxeo Mundial. When you guys got up there, I saw a little bit of a stare down, and looked like you got, Andre went to shake your hand, and you didn't want to, you guys looked like yeah, was gonna some heat between your two guys. I mean, I heard Carl Froch say, he would score a knockout in this fight also. So just wanted him to comment on that.
I'm not sure if Andre offered me his hand. I don't believe he did. If he did, I would have took it. And what was the other thing? There's no real beef or needle, whatever you want to call it, in this fight. I think there's mutual respect there. But the fact of the matter is, it's high stakes. There's a lot on the line. My WBC title means the world to me. After I lost it to Mikkel Kessler out in Denmark, I realised how much that title means to me. And when I won it back in a flawless victory against Arthur Abraham, given the biggest beating that anyone's ever given before or after that fight, I realised that belt's here to stay. So, when you've got that on the line and a new title on the line and the Super 6 Cup, as we call it, it's high stakes, and we both mean business. So, we're not going to be handshakes and hugs. Maybe not until after the fight. There's respect before the fight and there'll be respect after the fight, but from my point of view, not during the fight. It's as simple as that.
What was the question you asked, though? Didn't you ask?
No, the other question was that I read that he predicted a knockout for this fight.
Who?
Carl Froch. So I just wanted him to comment on that.
Yeah, that's right. I strongly believe that if there's going to be a knockout in this fight, it's going to come from me. I don't feel Andre Ward's got the punching power. And even if he did, I've got the granite chin. I've been dubbed as having the granite chin. I can't be stopped. I'm a beast. It's as simple as that. You can't knock me out. And you can laugh all you want, but I will not be stopped. If there's a knockout in this fight, it will come from me, that's for sure. I've got the ability to hit Andre Ward on the chin with one shot and stretch him out here. He hasn't. The best he can do is try and win a points decision, which is fair enough. He's got to try and use his abilities to the best he can and try and steal a points verdict off me. But I'm in there trying to take him out, simple as that.
Carl Froch. This is going to be your 5th fight in the Super 6 tournament. How would you compare Ward to the other fighters that you fought in this tournament?
Every fight is different. It's an old cliche, styles make fights. Obviously, Andre Ward's not like any other fighter. If I was to compare him with anybody, it'd be Andre Durrell. Both Olympic medalists. Both both like to box and move. Both got quite fast hands. I think Darrell's probably got more speed in terms of punching speed than Ward. And he's very talented, he's got a lot of ability, but maybe he's not got the mental toughness and the strength that you need, the concentration levels to perform and compete time after time at this level. So, you know, it'd be a mistake for me to compare Andre Ward with any other fighter I've fought in the tournament. But, you know, he comes a close match to Darrell.
This question is for Andre Ward. Andrew Rosario, LatinoSports.com. When you hear Carl say that he's going to knock you out and you can only win this fight by decision, what's your reaction?
I love it. I love it. This is what big time boxing is all about. And like I've said before in the media, Carl isn't the first person that said that, and he won't be the last. But I understand what I bring to the table, and I understand what it looks like on the outside. I understand what it looks like. But getting in there and feeling those punches is something totally different. And I'll tell you guys, I'm hitting hard enough, trust me.
This question is directed for Andre Ward. I'm Mike Catalina from Mike's 90 to Fight. Carl has said clearly he plans he can knock you out. You have, in this tournament, showed that you could adapt to any style. Can you enlighten us on what style you think that you will bring to the table that night that will be effective against Carl Froch?
What style that I'm going to bring?
Yes.
Well, I like to be a chameleon. And regardless of what Carl Froch comes, the key is to have an answer. And that's what makes a great fighter, and that's what makes a winner. And I can't get into specifics because we haven't fought yet. But the key is in the moment, when it's all on the line, doing what you got to do to get that win, and that's what I plan on doing.
Thank you. Carl, I do have one question for you as well. I've been around since Claire, I've stated before, I was in the casino in Foxwoods when your first trip over here, the night before you knocked Jermaine Taylor out. Obviously, this is a long road. Do you say that Andre Ward is the toughest opponent that you've faced in your career? Would you go as far as saying that?
It's like you said, until the fight happens, you can't really draw judgment on whether or not it's the toughest fight. You know, how do you find toughness? Is it somebody who can ability to take a shot, an ability to throw a hard punch, or somebody who's awkward and moves around? You know, there's different styles that make a fight tough. So, you know, he's no tougher, or maybe tougher in certain areas, but, you know, I don't really want to exploit and talk about the areas, the strengths and weaknesses of Andre Ward. I just know what I have to do on the night. I recognise you as well. How you doing?
How you been?
Mike Bernier from FightNews.com. I have two questions. The first is for the promoters. How is Atlantic City agreed upon? And the second question is, you both have two opponents in common, Kel Kessler and Arthur Abraham. How is that footage going to work to your strategy in this fight?
Well, to answer the first one, I kind of mentioned it in the opening comments I had that Don Marandino, president of Caesars and Harrah's on the East Coast, has been very, very aggressive bringing the biggest events to Atlantic City, not only in boxing, but in entertainment. And they were very much, Ken Condon sitting right here, they were very much interested in this fight and was very aggressive going in that direction. As you know, Carl and Andre mentioned Las Vegas. Las Vegas calendar was pretty tight. We just felt the best fit was the East Coast to do this fight. And I'm happy that we're doing it because it is a special event out here on the East Coast. And I think it's a great opportunity for the fans out here to get a chance to see Andre Ward up close and personal. From the other aspect of it, of the common opponents, you know, we haven't had any conversation saying, hey, you beat Kessler, Froch lost to Kessler, you beat Abraham this way, he beat him that way. You know, all of that stuff throw out the window. It's all about October 29th. Andre's a young man. He's still getting up there. He's got a lot more to show out there. And on October 29th, I just believe that there's going to be more to Andre Ward than any of us have ever seen because he's hungry for information and talent. And he puts it all in there and he grinds it out. like a veteran lawyer who knows all the different angles on how to get his client off a guilty plea. So in this case, I believe we're going to see the best Andre Ward. I know we're going to see the best Andre Ward. And come October 29th, he'll just take that other step to what he wants, is that greatness.
Yeah, just from our point of view, I mean, you've touched on the common opponents in terms of where the fight's being held and how we agreed on Atlantic City. Matchroom Sport came into this tournament quite late on, but we inherited a contract that gave us little room for manoeuvre in terms of where we could possibly have the fight. We have to remember, this is an American event, this is a Showtime event. We would like nothing more than to have brought this to the UK in front of 30,000–40,000 fans, but we always knew that was unrealistic. You know, this is an event for Showtime, and this is an event that has taken place predominantly in America, so the final was always going to be in America. Vegas obviously was muted, but you know, Carl Froch is a freak of nature, inside and outside of the ring. I don't probably know any other fighter who really doesn't even ask where the fight is. He just wants to know the date and who he's fighting, and that's it. And I don't think there's any other fighter on the planet who would go where he's gone to have these fights. You know, I'm not sure how Andre would have taken it, a trip to London, a fight over there, but it was just important to us that a neutral venue was secured. And whilst it's in the US, and you know, many will not call it neutral, we know that we're in good hands with the Atlantic City Commission, and it's a fair trip for Andre as well. He hasn't come out of his hometown that often, like Carl has, and we've been at Atlantic City before, but from our point of view, Carl is probably the easiest person to deal with because he just needs a ring to do his thing, and he doesn't care where that is, and he'll go anywhere to get the job done. So it was very easy from our point of view.
And I believe we have one final question.
Yes, my name is Brian Parkers from BoxingMMATalk.com. This question is directed to Mr. Froch. Mr. Hearn just touched on this a little bit, but I want to know, do you think you have a mental advantage, given that, like Mr. Hearn just said, you don't mind going anywhere to fight, and Mr. Ward has...
So often these days, you know, to be brought out of your comfort zone is definitely a disadvantage. For me, it's not a disadvantage because I'm so used to travelling, I'm so used to performing on the road. I won the world title in Nottingham against Jean Pascal. John Pascal was at his best right before he went on to win the title at light heavyweight. After losing to myself, he went on to perform brilliantly against Chad Dawson. You know, he did very well since then. But since that fight, I've been on the road. I've had Andre Durrell at home, and then you know, I've been away again. After Pascal, I boxed Taylor in Connecticut, and I've been back to Atlantic City. And, you know, I've been to Finland, I've been to Denmark. So the homely comforts for me are very far away, and I'm used to not being in that class of comfort. So how Andre responds to that, we don't know. It might not be a problem. He's probably well travelled from the amateurs. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and you fight all over the country, all over the world to win medals. And I did that as an amateur, not in the Olympics, in the World Championships. Fought all over Europe, fought in Canada, fought in America. So you sort of get used to travelling. But as a professional, he's having to come away for the first time. So you know, it might just be a little chink in his armour for the first time. So you've raised a very valid point there.
Real quick, Jimmy, before we sign off, I just want to ask Andre one question. How many times have you fought in your hometown? You know? How many? Four. Carl, I haven't checked your record lately. How many times have you fought in your hometown?
Probably about 14. 14?
Okay, so, you know, when you say the comfort zone, there's no comfort zone for Andre. We were prepared to go outside of California for...
How many times have you fought in California in this tournament?
For Jermaine Taylor.
In this tournament?
And we were prepared to go outside of California for Andre Durrell. Just so happened that it didn't work out that way. But I'm going to tell you one thing, come October 29th, nothing will be uncomfortable for Andre Ward. Nothing will be out of his comfort zone. And as Eddie said so succinctly, and I agree with him 100%, give Andre Ward the ring. That's all he cares about, because never once has he ever asked me who he's fighting prior to the tournament. Never once did he ever question anyone who he was fighting outside or inside the tournament. And never once has he ever, as a matter of fact, He hasn't wanted to fight in California in the longest time, mainly just because of the impression that other people give. So coming out to the East Coast is new territory for him, but it doesn't matter because his comfort zone is that ring.